Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be an explanation of my tier list and kind of the criteria that I use when it comes to ranking champions, good or bad, and everything in between. A lot of people are constantly asking about tier lists and rankings and stuff because obviously in a game like Raid Shadow Legends, it's a very popular topic. When you have so many champions, people want a resource to be able to sift through them, know what's good, what's bad, what's average, and all of that. So with it being such a common question and topic, I wanted to dedicate a video to kind of explaining how I rank champions and how I kind of go through and the whole process of, you know, where to slot them and the reasoning behind that. So yeah, let's get into it. Alrighty, so first of all, I will have my tier list down in the video description. This is the tier list. It's down in the video description, and you can click on the bottom. There's legendary, epic, and rare. There's all three different categories are ranked, and it's kind of like my current thoughts on the champions in the game, and it's forever evolving. I probably edit it 5 times a week, where I'm at least moving a couple champions here and there based on me learning more as a player, based on feedback I get from other players or the community. Sometimes people can change my mind, like, hey, you know, you should look at this champion. I don't know why you have them ranked so low. And there has been times where I change my mind and move them up. But yeah, this video is going to be explaining how I go about this. So when I set out to create my tier list, I wanted to design it in a way where it kind of symbolizes how impactful it is for your account to summon that champion, like how game changing it is to acquire that champion. So if you'll notice, number 1 and number 2 on the legendary tier list are Valkyrie and Martyr, and the common theme is they both provide counterattack for your entire team. And getting counterattack on your account, getting one of those champions, is extremely impactful because AoE, entire ally counterattack, is just one of the general strongest mechanics in the game. It's so good for dungeons, clan boss, arena defense, fire knight. It's imperative in so many different spots of the game that the impact of summoning those 2 champions, I just felt like I wanted to have them at 1 and 2. And this could obviously change at some point, but that's kind of the reasoning between my top 2 legendaries and why they're there. It's because they're the only 2 legendaries that provide ally counterattack, and their kits are actually really good besides just the counterattack. So that's why the top of the legendary board is like that. And then also, I set out with asking myself, okay, so obviously different champions are going to be good at different areas of the game. You're going to have some champions that are campaign specialists or arena nuker specialists or clan boss specialists. Believe it or not, there's actually faction war specialists, like Harvest Jack is a good example, the new legendary where he places fear and all the waves, and faction wars is more waves and all that. But yeah, the point is, I need to ask myself, okay, so I have champion A that's really good in dungeons but is trash against the clan boss. Then I have champion B who's really good against the clan boss but trash in dungeons. How do I break that tie? Like, how do I decide which one is better? And so what I had to ask myself was, what areas of the game are most important? And the way I view it is clan boss is the most important. And the reason why is no one wants to be that person who's like being dragged along by their team. We all want to contribute to our friends and our clan and pull our own weight. So A, it's important because of that. You don't want to be that person who's being dragged along by your team. You want to be able to contribute. So B, it's also probably the most consistent way to get good rewards in the game is getting those daily clan boss chests. It's very important to be in a clan that is your skill level and is killing the boss that you need to be hitting, because getting the cruel gear, immortal gear, ascendancy potions, gems, skill books, in the end game you're getting sacred shards, legendary skill books. Like, the clan boss, killing the highest clan boss that you possibly can is the best route to getting consistent daily rewards and also contributing to your friends and your clanmates. So I think the clan boss is the most impactful and important area of the game currently, and that's why on my legendary tier list and kind of all of my tier lists, you'll see champions towards the top that are very good against the clan boss. Valkyrie, Martyr, Krisk is good, Battle, Draco, Warlord. You'll see all of these champions that are very great performers in the clan boss, and then also have some utility outside of the clan boss. Generally, if somebody's really good against the clan boss, they're going to have some utility outside of that. There is certain spots like Vizier, who's like a debuff extender, where he might not be so great in other areas of the game. He's kind of got a specific role of extending debuffs in the clan boss, but that's kind of a rare situation. Okay, so then I think that's an obvious number one. So what's number two? I would say dungeons is a number two, because being able to finish your dungeons or beat the game and get your arbiter, and also be able to grind out gear, that's kind of the end game, you know, where you need to be grinding out gear and be perfecting your champions so you can get better and better. So I would say after clan boss, dungeons is number two. Then after that, it's kind of a big drop off. In a perfect world, honestly, I would want the arena to be just as impactful as the clan boss. So they could do this with like daily chests based on like you should get like 2 different chests daily from the arena. You should get your performance offensively, like how many battles you won per day and in what rank. And then you should also get like how successful your defense was or something, some way to determine. So you should get 2 different chests. How good was your arena offense? How good was your arena defense? And it should be like a daily reward, just like the clan boss. Then the arena would be up there tied for the clan boss, and they would both be very impactful. But the way that it stands, I would go clan boss, dungeons, then probably arena, and then probably faction wars, and then campaign. And now you're going to be asking yourself, but Chosen, we spend 90% of our time in the campaign farming XP. You tell us to grind XP, grind silver. You tell us it's the best blend of farming XP and silver, and we have to be able to get XP to 6-star our champions. Why would the campaign be the least important? Well, the reason is, so let's say we have a legendary that's extremely good at speed farming the campaign. Well, the campaign has a hard ceiling. Like, there's a big glass ceiling. You hit a point where you just can't get better. So, like, you have a Bellower that can speed farm the campaign in 6 or 7 seconds, and Bellower is a rare. Okay, so if I get a god tier legendary for the campaign, like Queen Ava, okay, she farms it in 6 or 7 seconds, just like my Bellower, who's a rare. So that's why, like, yes, the campaign is important, but the difference between a god tier legendary and like a super meta campaign speed farmer versus a rare that's super cheap to build, there's really no difference in value there. You can build a really good rare and get a really good return, as opposed to like a legendary that specializes in the campaign. So even though the campaign is a very important area of the game to get good at, in terms of value above replacement, sounds like a sports term, but like in terms of value above replacement, a god tier campaign legendary isn't bringing you a whole lot of value surplus above like rares and epics, and that's why in terms of a tier list, the campaign is kind of weighted pretty low. And then faction wars could end up being one of the most important areas of the game, because glyphs are actually super impactful, but they're currently in the process of reworking faction wars. Now, if they rework faction wars to a way where you can refill your keys or farm glyphs more consistently, or clear higher levels to get 4 and 5 star glyphs and stuff, faction wars may jump up the board and even overtake clan boss, because glyphs are that impactful, or have the potential to be that impactful anyway. So as of now, though, it's clan boss, dungeons, then the other 3, then arena, faction wars, and campaign. So that's why I'm asking myself when I do these lists, you know, okay, I'm rating them in terms of that, and taking all that into consideration. Like, the Battle CORSAIR is so good because I can use him basically everywhere except like an arena nuking strategy. He's amazing in the clan boss, he's amazing in dungeons, and I get so much general utility on not only the clan boss but other areas of the game, and that's what kind of breaks that tie and moves them up the board. If we go to rares, you know, why are the god tier rares the god tier rares? Apothecary is so overall useful. Again, clan boss and basically every area of the game. He's your introduction to speed boost, turn meter boost. He has a 3-hit A1 for clan boss, all of that. Bellower, Cold Heart, Kale, Bulwark. They're all very useful in either the clan boss or fill very specific roles in performing very well, extending into the mid game and the end game. So one thing I also want to go over is, how do you know? How do you know if a champion is god tier or trash? So I'll kind of go over this. All right, so we'll go to legendaries, and we'll go over Valkyrie. Why is she number one? Okay, so we'll compare this. Valkyrie is a barbarian right here. Okay, base speed of 104 is amazing. A1 is a multi-hitter that decreases turn meter if the target has any buffs based off of not only attack but also defense. A great A1 that provides utility in multi-hits. An A2 that is on a 3-turn cooldown with AoE that places a shield on all allies for 3 turns and counterattack on all allies for 2 turns. Shield is incredibly useful, and counterattack is one of the best things in the game, ally counterattack. So much utility. One of the best abilities in the game is Valkyrie's A2. And then we got a passive that is, this champion's turn meter will be increased by 10% each time an enemy champion places a buff. Turn meter manipulation on a passive, very good. Enemy champions will have their turn meters decreased by 10% for each buff they receive. Again, it's just turn meter manipulation as a passive, which is amazing. Then she gets an aura that is a really good aura. It's defense by 33%, but it's only faction crypts. So again, not super impactful, but it's there. She's also a character that is based on defense, which are arguably the best champions in the game, and she has one of the best abilities in the game. We can see how much utility it brings. Ally counterattack is one of the most vital things to have on your account, and shield is an awesome ability. Shields are so useful in clan boss, dungeons, arena, everywhere. So now let's compare her to a champion that I have ranked really low, which is Yannica in the high elves. So let's go over this, and I'll explain why is Yannica a bad legendary. And again, before I dive into this, you'll see that I have a disclaimer right here. Champions are ranked in overall utility and how much value they bring to your account by summoning them. It's impossible to make a perfect tier list because almost any champion can be useful in the right situation with the right team with great gear. It means, like, yes, you can probably max out a Yannica and give her godly gear and put her in the right situation and then show me, like, look, Yannica's doing good. So when it comes to making a tier list, we're having to split hairs. We're having to like differentiate things in a small and precise way. So now I'll explain to you why Yannica is ranked low. We've got an A1 that is a single hit, so it's not a multi-hitter. Well, I guess it is. It attacks a random enemy. Each hit has a 50% chance of placing a leech. Leech debuff, it sounds like it would be super good, but it's actually not that impactful. Then we've got an A2 that is also a single hitter with not even a 100% chance of placing a solo buff if critical. So there's no ally utility. It's only a solo hit and a solo utility. Then we've got her big ability, her A3, is a 4-turn cooldown, AoE, and its only utility is decrease max HP by 25% of damage inflicted. So, like, decreasing max HP by damage inflicted is kind of a low impact ability. It's not going to work against the clan boss. It's just not going to bring a whole lot of utility in very many situations. Then we've got an aura that's very specific. It's spirit allies. It's not just all allies, but at least it is all battles, and it's 36%, which is decent. So again, base speed of 100 for a legendary is just decent. It's not good. The A1 is like decent. It's okay. The A2 is bad. It's a single hitter with no party utility. It's just solo utility and a solo hitter. And then her AoE is a 4-turn cooldown. Typically, if we have like an AoE damage dealer for an attack character, we want their AoE ability to be on a 3-turn cooldown, not a 4-turn cooldown. And if it is going to be on a 4-turn cooldown, it needs to be more impactful than this. So now you can really see the difference between the value. Like if I'm a new player and I summon Martyr and I summon Yannica, you can see the difference in value in terms of utility that a Martyr or a Valkyrie would bring to my account as opposed to a Yannicka. And like Yannicka's not going to be game changing anywhere, whereas like a Martyr or Valkyrie is going to be game changing in many different areas. So like, how would I go about balancing the game? So like, just for an example, how would I change Yannicka to kind of slot her up the tier list and bring her into viability? First of all, I would make the A1 attack one enemy, then attack all other enemies, and each hit has a 50% chance of placing a leech. So I would have her be able to target one enemy, then hit all enemies randomly, so she gets some AoE leech on her A1. Then her A2, I would have be attack one enemy, then 2 random enemies, and then I would have a slide in a book right here that's plus 15% or plus 25% buff chance, so it turns into a 100% chance of placing a perfect veil buff on this champion if any hit is critical. So now we're hitting 3 enemies, and we are always going to place the perfect veil. Then I would make a passive that decreases enemy max HP by 25%. I would just give her a passive. The damage she deals decreases enemy max HP. That's her passive. And then I would give this some ally or AoE utility. She's got an AoE debuff leech in my redesign, so I would probably do it as another debuff. So I would do like an AoE decreased defense by 60%. Now she would slide up the board because she's bringing an AoE A1 that places leech. She's gonna place a perfect veil on herself and hit multiple enemies, and then she's gonna do an AoE decrease of defense, and she would have a passive to decrease max HP, which isn't that great, but at least it would be something. And she would bring an aura. I would change this to increase ally attack in all battles by like 30%. So I would make it less specific but less impactful, and I would make her base speed like 102. That would take Yannicka from horrible to like good. Like, we could find some utility for her. That's kind of the thought process that would go into what it would take for me to like redesign her to bring her into like having utility and being kind of useful for a player to summon them. So yeah, I hope this sheds some light on what kind of goes into why a champion is ranked where they are, and you can definitely ask me down in the comments. I'll try to do the best I can to answer questions, and obviously you can come hang out and stream and ask me, and yeah, do understand that a tier list is designed to be a resource, a starting point. It's not supposed to be like a 100% perfectly godly accurate thing. It's just supposed to be like, hey, this is a starting resource for you to kind of, form your own opinion and kind of go over and see how the community and how I feel about certain champions in general, because I do take community input on this. I've had many times where I kind of disagree, but I change a champion because lots of people in my Discord or lots of people in my stream are telling me. So it's not really just my tier list. I try to involve my stream and my channel and my Discord on molding this and trying to get it as accurate as possible. It's never going to be perfect. So just understand and kind of use it what it is. It's a resource. It's a starting point for you to form your own opinions. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments, and if you have any questions and stuff like that. And as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.